Which is the better wide-angle lens for your Sony APS-C camera? Is it the Sony 10 to 18mm lens or the Sigma 16mm prime lens? Well, let's find out. What is up guys, Nico here from Balls Life, and for today's video we are going to compare two wide-angle lenses that are very popular among Sony APS-C camera owners. The first lens is the Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens. This is a prime lens. You cannot zoom in or out using this lens. And the other lens is the Sony 10 to 18mm f4 lens made by Sony. So just to make it clear, these are lenses made for crop sensor cameras for Sony or APS-C cameras. So this Sigma is an equivalent of a 24mm lens on a full frame body, and this is an equivalent of a 15 to around 28mm if you convert it into a full frame body. Now, to answer the question, which is better, I think that depends on what you personally need in your photography work or your videography work. So let's see the differences of these two lenses. Number one, this is a prime lens and this is a zoom lens. So if you need flexibility in terms of your focal length, in terms of your zooming in and out, this is the lens that you should get, the Sony 10 to 18, because if you go with a Sigma 16mm and you need to punch in the shot, you have to physically walk and go in or walk forward, and if you want to zoom out, you have to physically walk away from your subject. Now, the next thing that is different, of course, is the widest focal length of the lens. This being a prime lens, you only have one focal length, which is 16mm. For this, the widest you can go is 10mm. So here is a shot taken with the Sigma 16mm, and here is a shot taken with the Sony 10 to 18 at 10mm. So if you can see, the Sigma 16mm not that wide enough when it comes to real estate. If you really want to feature a room, or if you want to show the whole area of the house or a yard or the front of the house, then I think you really want to go with the Sony 10 to 18. Now for vlogging, I think you go with the 10 to 18 for a more comfortable feel when it comes to carrying your camera, as opposed to when you are using your 16mm. This is what you are gonna get if you stretch your arm out, versus this shot of me using the 10 to 18. This is with my arms also stretched out. Look at the difference. It is a huge difference. You might think, 10 and 16, not that big of a difference. It is at that low focal point or focal length. You feel every millimeter in terms of how wide it can go. Now the next major difference is their aperture. The Sigma can go as low as f1.4 and the Sony can go as low as 4. So in terms of low light, the Sigma is a clear winner here. As you can see here, this is what it looks like at f4, and this is what it looks like at f1.4 with all the other settings being constant. So in terms of low light, if you do a lot of night photography, night vlogs, I think you will love the Sigma because it can go as wide as f1.4. Also, one thing, if you love that creamy bokeh or the background blur, you will get it more with the Sigma over the the Sony 10-18. As you can see in this clip, this is with the Sigma 16mm at 1.4 in the aperture. You see that blur in the background. And this is with the Sony 10-18 at f4. So that's the widest it can go, f4. Not much of a blur unless, you know, your background is really far from you. So if you want that blur, then you go with the Sigma. Now, in terms of sharpness, I think the Sigma is a sharper lens. It gives you a sharper image. I don't know why, maybe because it's a prime lens. In general, I've noticed prime lenses give a sharper image than zoom lenses. I don't know if that's true or if that's the main reason why I like the image quality of the Sigma better than the Sony 10-18. And finally, one major difference is the Sony 10-18 lens has OSS, or optical steady shot. That is the stabilization in the lens of Sony, while the Sigma 16mm doesn't have any type of stabilization at all. So if you are using a crop body from Sony that doesn't have IBIS, like the A6400, which I'm using now, then you won't have any kind of stabilization. But if you're using bodies like the A6500 or the A6600, which has IBIS, then I think you can get away with it a little bit more with this lens when it comes to stabilization or shake. But in my experience, OSS doesn't make that much of a difference when it comes to video, especially in vlog types where you're walking and the camera has a fairly good amount of shake. So not much big of a deal for me, the OSS on the Sony as compared to the Sigma 16mm. So there you go. That is a short comparison video here on Balls' Life between these two amazing lenses. Now, which one should you get? Look at the rundown of the differences and see what's more important to you in those specs. What do you do? Do you do real estate photography? Do you vlog a lot? Or is the blur more important to you than having that wider focal length? So you be the judge which one is better, which one suits your needs better. So thank you for watching this video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel here on Balls' Life. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you get notified when we upload new videos here on our channel. Also, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and we will see you in our next video here on Balls' Life. See ya!